What is up, vegans and carnivores? I am just a simple Newtype, and in this episode we are returning to Ral Meshi. The full title is Ral Meshi, Ramba Ral no Haitoku Gohan. I've seen many translate this to immoral rice, but Gohan in this context is meal, so it's Ramba Ral's immoral meal. Last time we learned that when Ral is left alone in Club Eden, he indulges in Ral Meshi. Ral made it out to be something unique and exquisite, but we learn over time that it's some of the trashiest comfort foods that Ral has at his disposal. This included crispy fried rice, deep fried takoyaki, and toast with pastry cream and fruit. This time Ral indulges in a medley of bagels. He makes a rice ball the size of a basketball, and he fails at trying to get into shape. So let's get into this. For a man, Ral must face the battlefield, but there are times when one must take it head on. He looks at the popcorn popping. He finishes off the popcorn with a little bit of seasoning. He looks over to a pot of noodles boiling and says, one more thing. He brings the noodles together with olives, salami, and green peppers. Also, does anyone know why the Japanese language decided to use the same word for pimento and green pepper? Isn't pimento specifically red? But Ral isn't done. He grabs a bag of shredded cheese and sprinkles some on top. Now he is ready for the battlefield. A shot goes off the White House. There seems to be a sniper nearby. Ral happens to be watching a movie. He starts with a beer and some popcorn. Ral looks at the popcorn and says, a new battle has begun. The seasoning is powdered cheese and basil. In America, don't buy these popcorn seasoning packs. It's all palm oil and diabetes. You could buy Chittle, which is the name for cheese powder. Did you know there was a name for that? There's also a dashi-like flavor to it as well. Dashi is dehydrated fish bits to create soup stock for ramen and other things. Together, these flavors taste like tandoori chicken, and he calls it tandoori chicken flavored popcorn. Least original name thus far. It's so good that Ral needs a break. He pauses the movie and praises the luxury that is home theater systems. Yes, suck it, movie theaters. Alright, that was a good breather. It is time for what Ral calls the pizza pasta supply force. He is ready to join the force. I feel like there's a pun here I'm missing. Ral says you can't fight on an empty stomach before taking a bite. He is instantly transported back to the war. Now that's a good pasta pizza. It has a fluffy texture with a crisp outside layer. He used spaghetti sauce instead of pizza sauce. He thinks that was the right call. The cycle of crispy and fluffy cycles through the mouth. He says he remained just as he was, having soared far beyond the reach of scorn. Dude is being poetic about using spaghetti sauce on his stoner meal. Calm down and finish your movie. After finishing, he ended up rewatching the movie, not realizing it is almost time for work. There are some foods that Ral finds himself returning to. Yakisoba is one of them. He just bought the cup yakisoba Zeta Max by the brand Jiang. He heats up the water and says tonight only leads down one path, and that is him devouring this yakisoba. He adds boiling water to the noodles and lets it sit. He lightly coats the grill with lard and begins grilling. He then adds meat and veggies. Ral then adds sauce. Remember, if it is labeled sauce in Japan, it means it's just a basic tonkatsu sauce, which is usually just ketchup, soy sauce, and Worcestershire sauce with a few other things. Don't buy tonkatsu sauce. Make it yourself. These videos are cooking tips videos apparently. It is done. He calls it the Zeta Max Mark II. However, it isn't good enough. He whips out his bag and adds more. Ramba Ral has a giant bug-out bag full of food just for emergencies. He throws in chicken karaage, fried shrimp, fried potatoes, potato chips, tonkatsu, a sausage, tamagoyaki, and a shield. How did that get in there? He calls it Zeta Max. It is complete. This is taller than the highest mountain and worthy of the climb. You think he ever speaks so poetically about Hammond Crowley? Or does food only get this high praise in his life? He asks if he is worthy before taking a bite. The sauce is rich and complements the noodles. It gets better with every bite. He then gets a bite with some potato chips. The chips add a whole new layer to this. He almost forgot about a drink. With junk food like this, it must be beer. After a chug, he tries more flavors. He goes for the sausage, then the karaage, along with takoyaki, which was apparently in this. He seemed to be looking for utter ruin in this meal, as though indulging in the trash. Ral encourages himself to continue. He drinks, then he takes another bite, but he throws in the towel. He gives thanks to Zeta Max. Ral gave it his all, but he was unable to finish and was defeated. A world event that happens every 4 years that definitely isn't the Olympics is currently happening. Why don't they mention the Olympics? Will they get sued? Ramba Ral sees one of the wrestlers. He looks at the man's abs, then he looks at his rolls. He wonders if he should try sports. He needs to be of sound body and mind, which means he needs to have a healthy diet. But what sport? He will figure that out after he eats a bagel. Alright, we're off to a bad start, but it's just a bagel, no problem. He then looks at a banana. He cuts it in half and proceeds to fry it. This is going off the rails real quick. Ral then adds cubes of cheese on top of the bagel and then melts it in the microwave. He puts the fried banana in between the bagel and adds mayonnaise. Yeah, we are definitely outside of our macros. Screw it, at this point, let's just pan-sear some tenderloin. This dude has rock salt that he grates onto the dish. This dish is red, but he needs some green. So he adds cilantro and shrimp. He needs something black and something blue. He is finally finished. Ral creates 5 bagels with ingredients from various regions in what he calls the 5 continents bagel. He puts on sports and begins eating. The first is the meat bagel, which he calls the red one. The rock salt enhances the rare meat. Next up is green, which is the shrimp cilantro and chili sauce. The third bagel is yellow, which is the fried banana. It is light and fluffy with the texture of a sweet potato. It also has mayonnaise. He says that he never thought this would go together so well. I'm hesitant about the mayo and the fried bananas on a bagel, and people say Americans are weird with mayonnaise. Actually, I might have to try this. Next is black. He made a Marmite bagel with butter. What are we even doing here, man? This is his first time trying Marmite. Ral is surprised that the flavors work. He refers to Marmite as a slight bitterness, which is the nicest way to put it. Any Marmite fans out there? Where are my UK bros at? Finally, we have reached the final bagel. The blue one, which is just chocolate mint ice cream. The game he is watching is going into overtime. He wonders what sport he wants to play to help himself lose weight. On second thought, he will think about this tomorrow. A man must watch as the flowers bloom. Ramba Ral refers to this as a massive moment. Today will also be a massive moment like the blooming flower. He grills some thinly cut meat. The meat is done. It is time to make the meal. He goes to the rice cooker and grabs some fresh rice. The gloves are on for this one. He makes a ball and stuffs it with corned beef and mayo. It isn't complete just yet. He adds some rice, then some seaweed until the onigiri grows to a giant size. It's not over. He adds cod roe, tempura bits, scrambled egg crumbles, salmon flakes, and some ginger pork. He reinforces the outer wall with paria leaves and then adds crushed walnuts and chirimen sancho, which is Japanese peppercorns and sardines. He calls it the shakudama onigiri. This is, I think, a reference to yon shakudama, which is one of the largest fireworks in the world. But he doesn't dive in. He lets it rest to allow the seaweed to soften. Quick, cut to a commercial. There's even a Ral Meshi title card and everything. All right, it is time. He takes a knife and slices it in half. Fireworks go off in Ral's mind, an array of colors. He holds it like a baby. Ral then bites onto the outer edge. More fireworks go off. The chirimen sancho gives it a little zest. It is a nice assist. The middle filling is standard to Ral, though not bad. He finally makes it to the cod roe. After the cod, he goes for the core and crushes it. He still has another half left. Ral goes in to take a bite with the ginger pork when Hammond Crowley walks in on him. The rice he used was supposed to be used for the staff's meals. Ramba Ral says the fireworks show has ended. An incident in the colony has reduced the power in Munzo. Munzo means this is pre-Xeon. What universe is this in? The news calls upon the people to conserve power. Ral pulls out a bunch of canned foods nearing their expiration dates. Time to use up the emergency food supplies before stocking up again. He simmers peas, corned beef, and mushrooms with some rice. He calls it Rolling Stock Mountain of corned beef, ajillo. Ajillo is a Spanish method of sauteing in garlic and lemon. He then toasts some canned bread. Canned bread? Never judge American cuisine again. Canned bread. Get out of here. Suddenly someone comes in looking for service. Also, Club Eden is more like an izakaya in this universe instead of a nightclub. She says that the door was open. Ral put out a close sign, but it must have fell over in the rain. She plays innocent and says she is all alone during this blackout. He lets her indulge in his canned food feast. She eats the toast and canned food ajillo. Ral says it goes well with toast and the peas provide an accent to the meal. She wants seconds, but that is all Ral has got for her. She still isn't full. She ate all the canned bread, but there is still corned beef. The girl tells him that if he mixes it with rice, he could create a pepper beef-like dish. She says add corn and mayo and salt and pepper. She tells Ral more mayo. It is finished. The girl takes a bite. It is so good. The rice and corned beef go perfectly together. None of this was made for the girl, and Ramba Ral says that he is sad that his food is gone. The girl's name is Yumi. She calls Ral Ralucci. As she leaves, Ral grabs a drink. His mistake cost him a great meal. He could only drink in despair as his stomach weeps. And that will do it for this episode. This started as one man's indulgences, but now it feels like we are watching Uncle Ramba Ral as he pushes towards his first heart attack. There are 6 volumes of this manga. Ral's heart can't take much more of this. I am tempted to try the fried banana bagel. I'm definitely not going to put mayo on it though. Next time, Ral makes a rock and roll sando. Yumi returns and the two eat some hot pot, and Ral makes roast beef in the shape of a Christmas tree. But that will do it for now, Newtypes. Remember, love can come from a can. Peace.